Coach, you have the task this season of replacing three-year starting quarterback Amos Luptak, who finished as a first-team All-PAC selection last year. What characteristics are you looking for in a triple-option quarterback, and who are some possible candidates to fill that position?
We got a decent room of kids that are men, let's put it that way, men that I think will be able to fill that role. Looking at a quarterback in this offense, we're looking for somebody that's obviously tough as nails. And not many people think of you quarterbacks as tough guys, but, I've seen some of the head coaches play in this league, and quarterback's going to be some of the toughest guys on the field, especially when left tackle's not blocking. But so we're looking for somebody that's going to be tough as nails. We're looking at somebody that can get the other 10 guys to play for them. Our kids lift, our quarterbacks lift with our offensive linemen. You got to have somebody that's intelligent, be able to make the checks. All those kinds of intangibles. We think we've got a really good crew of young men that are able to do that, and it's exciting. I mean, Andrew just talked about replacing a generational talent that you had, and Amos was special.
You have a deep and talented secondary returning, some key veterans back at every level of your defense. Who are some players you were looking at specifically to lead on that side of the ball this year?
I think we've got leaders at every level of our defense, and at the safety position, at the corner position, linebacker, and up front. We're going to have to replace a couple guys that played very well for us. But I'm really excited for us defensively in what we're doing. I think last year was a breakout year for us from a schematic standpoint in what we did in trying to be more of an attacking defense rather than just a bend but don't break. I think we need to add to those sub packages. I think college football is very similar across the board. I mean, when teams go big, you're going to have to be able to get big guys in there. When teams go 10 personnel, you're going to have to get skinny guys that can run. And we're looking forward to being able to match that. And I think, with the depth that we have in the defensive backfield, we can do a lot of things coverage-wise and allow us to play, this 3-3 kind of in a hybrid mode.
Coach, take a minute to talk about your player representative today, Andy Mellinger. How important is it to have someone like him at the center position, and what makes him such an important member of your program on and off the field?
Well, he's the third McKeesport center that we've had, and the reason we go after McKeesport centers, they run the triple, and having a center in this offense is the most important, part on that side of the ball. But this kid right here, this young man, is 10 minutes before class starts, he's in the front row. This young man could be the poster child for any Geneva advertisement and enrollment. He's got a deep faith. Academically, he'll probably end up with an MBA at our place. And from a football standpoint, there aren't many guys, and you guys know this, and I'm understanding it now at my age, at 31, that it's really tough to lose weight. It's really tough to lose weight and get stronger. Have you guys noticed that? No, you haven't? Wait till you turn 31. It gets really tough. But this kid's been able to do that. Okay? Give me the next one. Come on, we got a bunch of people that are hungry.
This is your last one. Last question.
Ever? No.
It's your 30th season at Geneva.
Wow.
You're not only are you the longest tenured coach in the PAC, but you're also one of the longest tenured coaches serving at one school for so long at any level of the NCAA. Talk about the significance that you place on that kind of longevity and the impact you've been able to have at one school, because I have comments as well.
Oh, do you? Good. I got to tell you, I was very impressed with the energy the young guys, the first-year guys have in coaching. We can remember that, Mike. I can't believe it's been 20 years you've been at W&J. Scott, you're building a legacy at Westminster, and Andrew, I remember you as, like we said before. But those first years were very, very special. To win in this league, it takes a full effort at every level. And then when I became the head coach at Geneva College, we had an incredible president named Dr. John White. We had an athletic director named Jerry Slocum, who took their chance on a guy that had been a volunteer defensive coordinator at Geneva and a GA at 2D1 programs where, it wasn't a big deal. But they took a chance, and within 5 years, we were number one in the country. So you got to have a plan, and it's got to happen at every level at the institution. I mean, that's how you build a winner. We've got such great coaching capital right here in this room. And really the difference it comes down to is what's going to transpire. I'm very blessed now that our president, Dr. Calvin Traup, actually played center in this type of offense back when I was on the defensive side. All the good guys, all the really nice kids played offense. All the idiots, like myself, were on the defensive side. So, and that means something to me. And we have an athletic director in Van Zanik who I actually hired as an SID, and now he's my boss. So what a country. It really is. But what we're doing right now is we're building for the future. And this offense that we put in, I knew it was going to have to take time to do this. Defensively, we run something different than most people. What we do in the special teams, everything is that. But we're right now at the cusp. I can remember when Grove City won a game against St. Vincent that turned your program around. I remember that game. I remember the game, Scott, when you had to win a game to get back to the tradition that you had there. And Mike, you probably remember early in your career a game that you had to win to continue the tradition that Lucky had. So you have all those things. We're a couple of wins away from being there. We really are. We're at that cusp, and I'm very excited about that. We got a lot of guys back. I love our system. I know you guys hate to play us, and I love the fact that you hate to play us. So that's all I have.
It's always fun, Coach.
Yeah, it's just a blast.
Andy, a couple questions for you. When it came to deciding on a college, other than Coach DeMarco, what was the appeal of playing in an offense like the triple option at Geneva?
So as Coach DeMarco already said, I went to McKeesport High School, which most Whitfield guys here, I'm sure they know what that is, but we also run the triple option. And so it was kind of just a good fit in that sense. And it's really just a blast if you're an offensive lineman. Obviously, we've had a couple other offensive lineman representatives up here, and clearly I'm smaller than them, But it's basically the mentality you can see with our head coach here. It gets chaotic, we're kind of in your face, but it's a blast to be an offensive lineman in a system like this. So I wouldn't want to have it any other way.
He said
Look at
it.
the hair this kid has. Go ahead. Sorry.
Andy, you stepped into the starting lineup last season and started every game, earning all PAC honors. How do you think last season went for you, and how were you able to handle the physical toll playing along the line in this kind of physical offense?
So as far as how the season went for me, I was very honored to get the recognized in the conference. But as Coach DeMarco said, we had pretty much every single one of our games this past year was a close game, and we kind of lost every single one of those close games. I mean, we went 4-6, and so the individual accolades, I really don't look at those. I came from a winning program in high school. I've been part of winning programs, and I get the same feeling at Geneva. I mean, we go into every single game we play expecting to win those games. So I'll feel more proud about the individual accolades when we start sealing the deal in some of those close games that we couldn't put together this past year. As far as, the physical toll on our bodies, offensive line's a brotherhood. It really is. I mean, I know every position group says that, and a lot of them probably do mean it, but we really mean it. I mean, I've never been part of a closer group of athletes together.
As the center, talk a little bit about responsibilities when you come to the line of scrimmage playing in the triple option.
So Coach DeMarco said that center is the most important position on the field, and based on that question, you talk about it like it is, but sometimes, honestly, I feel like I'm kind of a fraud because, I mean, honestly, in this system, a lot of times my job is just to run and hit whoever I see. It's not that complicated of a job to be a center in this offense, so I'm glad you guys think I'm this smart guy and everything, but it's really not the case.
The only reason I said that is because our president played center.
Andy, my last question for you. Coach talked a little bit about your academic background, business major. You've been named to the PAC's academic honor roll in prior seasons. Talk about balancing your time, particularly in season, between athletics and academics. And do you have any thoughts about where you're going to go after Geneva, plans for after graduation?
So I love this question because I get a lot of high school students asking me about what college life is like, and what I always tell them is that in high school you're in class 7 hours a day, 5 days a week, so 35 hours a week, and the average college student has about 16 credit hours per semester. That's less than half. So in reality, you have so much more free time in college. It's just about how you spend that free time. So I mean, if you use your free time wisely, then there's really no problem being a student athlete. As far as my future goals, I'm an accounting major, so I've already completed an internship my sophomore year. So going forward, I'm going to enter into the workforce in accounting. But my end goal would be to own businesses. I'm really into fitness. I'd love to own gyms across the country. That would be a dream for me. So,
Andy, thank you. Coach, thank you.
Always a pleasure.
Geneva.